Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Katerina or Kat if you're new here, and this is my channel of everything cozy, bookish, and lifestyle related. And the other day, I was taking stock of all the series that I own and kind of where I am with the series. So pretty much, this is me calling myself out, letting you guys know which book series I'm going to be continuing, which book series I'm kind of unsure if I want to continue, and which book series I am planning on DNFing. I believe I am currently in the middle of at least 18 or 19 book series. So to start off with, let's talk about the book series that I'm no longer going to be continuing. And the first book series that I want to talk about is a book series that I feel like quite a few people have decided to kind of discontinue for a few different reasons. My reason being that the series is no longer, at least for the time being, no longer going to have an ending to it. And that is a Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire, or the Song of Fire and Ice, I don't remember which one it is, series. This was a book series that I picked up around the second season of the TV show. I thought I would really enjoy it, and I did really enjoy the Game of Thrones. But after finishing the ending of the TV show and not really liking where that was going, and knowing that this series is no longer potentially going to have an ending to it, I really don't want to put my time into a series that I know will either not end for a very long time or never end in general. There are a few book series that I'm going to be mentioning that I feel like some people will come at me with pitchforks. There is a reason as to why I'm discontinuing them. This one being a very popular series, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I've read all of Jennifer L. Armentrout's other books. I thought that I was going to enjoy From Blood and Ash. It was a very hyped book when it came out, and so I kind of held off on reading it for a while, and then I read it, and I found so many issues with the book, and I finished it, and then I went into the second book, and I could not finish the second book. It was horrendously awful. There were so many mistakes in it, not only character-wise and, grammar-wise and all of that. People were calling out the fact that I think the first 4 books were written within 6 months of each other. Knowing where this book series is going and knowing the fact that there's just so many problems with the last 3 books that have come out, I don't foresee myself continuing the series. I definitely think the next one is going to be one that will hurt many people, not me. One of the biggest series out there, one that I personally have also read many times, but I just don't plan on continuing it, and that is, of course, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now, let me premise this, that I have read the first 3 books, acotar, acomath, acowar, and then also the novella between the last book and then the continuation. I have read all those books, and I have read them multiple times. And then Nesta's story came out, and I tried to read it, and I absolutely hated it, and I DNF'd it. And in my brain, the series ended with A Court of Wings and Ruin. I felt like that was the ending to the story. It was kind of more so the ending to the story of Farah. I have no interest in reading about her sisters. I do not find Nesta redeemable. Even halfway through Nesta's story, I still couldn't find her redeemable. I feel like my time with the series has ended. So yeah, unfortunately, the series is now done with. And then the final book series that I no longer plan on continuing is The Tiger at Midnight by Swati Teerdala. This is a young adult Arabian Night kind of retelling with assassins. This first book was absolutely amazing. The second book was horrendous. Literally, I think in my review I said every single thing could have been figured out with communication. The author purposely made sure that the main character and one of the love interests would not communicate. So I tried reading the third book. I could not get 10 pages in it. Let's talk about the book series that I am unsure of continuing. Now, it isn't because, once again, the series are bad or anything. It's more likely I found other book series that I kind of took precedence and priority, and the first book being 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I read this and I really enjoyed it, so I don't know if I want to continue this. It is technically only a duology. I might continue it one day, but really it's not a priority for me to continue this right now. Then we have The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Now, I don't know if this one should be kind of like an in-between. I enjoyed it when it came out, and I really love this because it kind of had a unique premise. I do kind of want to continue the series, but I just really haven't gotten around to it. Then we have another quite popular YA series, and that was The Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I read Kingdom of the Wicked and I really enjoyed it. I ended up getting in 60 pages into Kingdom of the Cursed, and I just was bored with it. And I was like, this is not really what I want to read anymore. And so I put it off to the side, and it's been unfinished on my shelf for quite some time. I might read it, maybe read it, but just not right now. Then we have Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This was a book series that came out way long time ago, and I did read the book. This was a book series that I wanted to continue for a while, and yet I haven't. And then another YA trilogy that I actually got I was sent the last book this year from the publisher, and that is Daughter of Sparta by Claire and Andrews. I really enjoyed this first one. I'm a big fan of like Greek retellings. I think they're very interesting to me. Do want to get around to this series, but I just really don't know when to. I just maybe don't remember much about this book to continue. And then another massively popular series, and it is a series that did not start out strong for me, and that is Crescent City's House of Earth and Blood by, once again, Sarah J. Maas. When I read this, I think I gave it a 2.75 or 3 stars. I did not enjoy this. And then I did buy House of Sky and Breath because I was thinking maybe I'll continue it. I do know that a lot of people that didn't like this book liked the second book, but I'm still unsure if I want to continue this. I think this is supposed to be like a 6-book series. And then the final books on my am I going to continue this series or not list, and that was The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This was a book that, once again, I read, did not really enjoy, but it also was read during a time where I believed in my brain that if it didn't have romance, it wasn't good. And now I'm the opposite, where I'm like, if it does have romance, I'm not really interested. I never got around to buying the rest of the book series. However, I do want to give this a second chance, and I do plan on giving it a second chance. I just don't know when yet. All right, so let's get into the book series that I plan on continuing. And the first being The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This was read in my 24-hour reading challenge video, and I did have at the time the library edition of the book. However, went out book shopping with my mother the other day, and I had store credits at one place, and I bought the entire series. I really enjoyed this first book. It was very addictive, and I do want to continue this series. Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat. I do love C.S. Pacat's other series as well that she has out, and I was obsessed with her YA dark fantasy and the representation in the book, and I'm like, yes, this is what I needed. And I do plan on continuing. Dark Air comes out in November. Then we have a duology that I absolutely love the first book too, and it is a very hyped TikTok book, and that is Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Love this book. Do plan on picking up the novellas, and I do own the second book in the duology, and I do plan on reading it. And then another very hyped fantasy book, and that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Really enjoyed this, didn't think I was going to. Also read it my 24-hour reading challenge. Second book, Iron Flame, comes out once again, I think in October or November, and I do plan on continuing it. And then the book to kickstart my obsession with adult fantasy, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Also just to kickstart my obsession with Brandon Sanderson and his writing. I do want to continue the Mistborn trilogy, and then I want to just get into his other books. Then we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. Really enjoyed this when it came out. It is a dark YA gothic fantasy that deals with death, and do want to continue with Foxglove. I also think that this is going to be a trilogy because she released the last name of the third book, and it's going to be called Wisteria, I believe. And then another very popular author too, and that is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I also own Babel by her, and I am looking at getting Yellowface, but I was obsessed with The Poppy War. It is brutal in every way possible, and I cried in this book, and R.F. Kuang's writing is absolutely insane, and I want to continue this series. And then the final book series that I plan on continuing from an amazing fantasy author that I am obsessed with every book that he publishes, and he is like my instant auto-buy author, and that is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I can't even begin to tell you guys how obsessed. I can't even begin to tell you guys. What is that noise? Are we done now? Okay. I can't even begin to tell you guys how obsessed with this book that I am. And you would think that this book, being a honker that it is, it would take me a lot of time. It took me 2 days because I flew through it. Empire of the Damned comes out, I think, in February of 2024. And you bet your sweet butts I will be picking that book up. Like, there is no doubt. I will put aside any book that I'm reading to pick up Empire of the Damned and read it. And yes, I also pre-ordered the second book in the Waterstones edition because I'm that obsessed with it. Alright guys, so those are all the series that I'm currently in the middle of. We have quite a few series that I'm planning on DNFing. We have quite a few series that I am unsure of to continue, and we have obviously quite a few series that I do plan on continuing. If there's any book series that you noticed that were in my DNFing or in my unsure of and you think I should give them a second chance, definitely let me know in the comments below. And make sure to like this video for more videos like it, and also make sure to subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!